Hello, babe. Welcome back to my channel. How are you doing? I hope you are having an amazing day. I'm back with a new story. If you are new to my channel, I'm Vera, but you can call me V. And I share amazing stories. And so if this is something you love, please subscribe and like this video. And don't forget to turn on the notifications so that when I post, you'll be notified immediately. Today's shout out goes to Queen Nita Ayim, Charlotte Aziafo, Monday Lovette 3646. They were the first people to comment on my last video. Thank you so much for the support, babes. You know I love you. And now relax, get comfortable, and without further delay, let's get right into it. I met him when I was just 23 years old. He wasn't rich, but he was kind, smart, and he made me feel like I was the only woman in the world. We met in a small restaurant in Accra. I was there with my friends, but when he smiled at me across the room, it felt like everything else disappeared. We started talking. One conversation became many. Soon we couldn't go a day without seeing each other. He told me all his dreams. He wanted to travel abroad, work hard, and make a better life. He said he didn't want to struggle forever in Ghana. One evening, as we walked along the street, he held my hand and said, "When I go, I will come back for you. I will never forget you. I will make you my wife." I believed him. With my whole heart, I believed him. When he finally got his visa, I was happy for him. I supported him with everything I had. I even gave him part of my savings to buy his plane tickets. I told him, "Go. I will wait for you. Just don't forget me." I worked long hours in a supermarket, trying to build my own future while waiting for him to build his. Every day, I checked my phone, waiting for his calls and messages. When they came, my heart would race. When they didn't, I would tell myself, maybe he's busy. Maybe life over there is hard. But he still loves me. My family didn't understand why I was so patient. My friends said I was wasting my time, but I didn't care. He promised, and to me, his promise was everything. I didn't know I was building castles in the air. I didn't know my waiting would soon turn into tears. But at that time, all I knew was that I loved him, and I believed he loved me too. At first, things were sweet. When he arrived abroad, he would call me every day. Sometimes we would talk for hours, laughing like we used to. He would tell me about the cold weather, the busy streets, and how life over there was not as easy as people said. I was his comfort. I was his home. But after some months, I started to notice something. His calls became shorter. His text started to sound dry. Sometimes I would send him long messages, pouring out my heart, but all he would reply was, "Okay, I'm busy, talk later." Later would come, but the calls would never happen. When I called him, the phone would ring and ring, but he wouldn't pick up. And when I asked him why, he would say, "I was busy, life is tough here." I wanted to understand. I really did. So I kept waiting. I kept believing. I told myself, maybe he's just stressed. Maybe he's tired. Maybe he will change. I stayed loyal to him. I didn't even look at other men. When people asked why I wasn't dating, I would smile and say, "I have someone. He's just abroad." But deep inside, I started to feel a small pain growing in my chest. He no longer called me sweet names. He no longer asked how I was doing. Sometimes he would forget my birthday. I would sit on my bed, phone in hand, staring at the screen all night, waiting for him to remember me. But he didn't. Still, I held on to his promise. I told myself, he will come back for me. He loves me. He just needs time. I was fighting for something that was slowly dying, but I couldn't see it. Love had made me blind. I didn't know I was holding on to a man who had already let me go. 2 years passed. 2 long, painful years. I kept waiting. I kept believing, even when his messages became rare, even when his voice became cold. I told myself, he will come back for me. He promised. Then one Sunday morning, I heard he had returned to Ghana. My heart jammed. I was so happy. I thought this was finally our time. But life had other plans. When I saw him, my world stopped. He didn't come back alone. He came back with a wife. A wife. I stood there, frozen, as he introduced her to his family. I wanted to scream. I wanted to disappear. How could he do this to me? After everything I had done for him, after all the years I waited, after all the money I sent, when I finally spoke to him, my voice was shaking. You are married? Why? What about me? He looked uncomfortable. He scratched his head and whispered, I had to marry her for papers. It is not real. It is just to survive abroad. I still love you. Please wait for me. I will divorce her soon, I promise. Those words cut me deeper than a knife. After all this time, he still wanted me to wait. He wanted me to stay as his backup, as his secret, as his option. Something in me broke that day, but something else also woke up. I realized I had been blind. I realized he was using me. He didn't love me. He loved what I gave him, my time, my loyalty, my support, but he never planned to truly choose me. I looked at him and said softly but firmly, no, I won't wait anymore. I deserve better. I turned around and walked away. My legs were weak, but I didn't stop. My heart was shattered, but I knew I had to leave. People say the hardest goodbyes are the ones you never expected to say. That was mine. I left him there with his empty promises. I didn't know what the future held for me, but I knew I couldn't let him hold me hostage anymore. After I walked away from him, I thought maybe life would quickly get better. I thought maybe I would meet someone new, someone who would love me truly. But life doesn't always work that way. People around began to talk. They laughed behind my back. Some said, all that waiting for what? He married another woman. Even my own family would ask me, when will you bring a man home? Your friends are all married with children. When is it your turn? I would smile in front of them, but I cried alone at night. I felt like a failure. I was 29, and the man I believed in had left me behind. I tried to move on. I met new men, but they were all the same. Some wanted my body, some wanted my money, none wanted my heart, none wanted forever. The more I tried, the more I got hurt. My heart became tired, my mind became heavy. I started to believe maybe love wasn't for me. I would attend weddings, smile, and clap for the bride, but deep inside, I was asking myself, when will it be me? My friends who used to call me every day slowly drifted away. They were busy with their husbands and children. I started to feel left behind. I felt stuck. I felt like I was drowning in an ocean of loneliness while everyone else had found their boats. People thought I was strong because I didn't talk much about it. But the truth was, I was broken. I would sit in my room and ask God, when will my own story change? When will my own happiness come? But life kept me waiting. I didn't know that sometimes the best things come after the storm. I didn't know that my life was about to turn in a way I never expected. I had stopped expecting love. By 32, I had made peace with my lonely life. I focused on my work, went home, and kept my circle small. I stopped trying to chase happiness. I told myself, if love comes, fine. If it doesn't, I will survive. Then one day, life surprised me. I got a new job at a company in Accra. The manager was a man named Kwame. He was 40 years old, quiet, kind, and always smiling. He wasn't the kind of man who talked too much or showed off, but there was something about him. He had this peaceful energy that made people feel safe around him. The first day I met him, he said, I've heard good things about you. I believe you will do well here. I smiled politely. I didn't think much of it. But day by day, something grew between us. It wasn't rushed. It wasn't fake. It wasn't like the past. He respected me. He listened to me. He saw me. Kwame would check on me when I was quiet. He would notice when I was stressed. He treated me like I mattered, not just as his employee, but as a person. At first, I was scared to open up. I had built strong walls around my heart, But Kwame was patient. He never forced me. He never played games. One evening, after we worked late on a project, he offered to drop me home. That drive changed everything. We talked about life, pain, heartbreak, and dreams. I told him parts of my story, the waiting, the betrayal, the loneliness. He looked at me and said softly, "You deserve to be loved properly. You've been through too much." His words started something inside me, something I had buried. We became friends. Then we became more. He treated me like a queen. He showed me love in ways I had never seen before. No lies, no confusion, no cold silence. He made me feel safe, seen, and special. 1 year later, we got married. Oh, for the first time in my life, I felt I was truly home. No more begging for love. No more chasing empty promises. I had peace. I had joy. I had a man who chose me fully. Looking back, I realized that sometimes God delays things because He is preparing something better. I was glad I didn't settle for less. This was my new beginning. I used to cry on my bed, wondering if I would ever smile again. I used to watch other women holding their babies and ask myself, will I ever get to feel that joy? But life is full of surprises. At 35 years, I held my first child in my arms, a beautiful baby girl with my eyes and a father's smile. When I heard her first cry, something deep inside me healed. I can't even explain the feeling. It was like every pain, every heartbreak, every lonely night suddenly made sense. It had all led me to this moment. My husband Kwame was the happiest man on earth. He would sing to her, rock her to sleep, and tell her, "You are the answer to your mother's prayers." 2 years later, at 37, we had our second child, a baby boy who completed our family. My heart was full. The girl who used to sit alone, crying over broken promises, now had 2 children calling her Mama. We built a beautiful life together. We traveled to places I never thought I would see. Dubai, South Africa, France, Kenya. Places I only used to see in pictures. We would laugh, take pictures, and sit by the beach, just watching our children play in the sand. Sometimes I would look at them and tears would fill my eyes. Not tears of sadness, but tears of gratitude. I had peace. I had love. I had the life I used to pray for. The life I once thought I would never have. Kwame never stopped showing me love. Even after years of marriage, he would still hold my hand like he did when we were dating. He would look at me and say, "Thank you for choosing me." But what he didn't know was this. I was the lucky one. I had finally found real love. I had finally found home. There was no more pain, no more waiting, no more loneliness. I was happy, and this time it was real. It was a bright Sunday afternoon. My husband and I had gone to a big church program in Accra. The place was packed. Music, prayers, dancing, so many people everywhere. After the service, we walked towards the car park, laughing as we talked about the message the pastor preached. Kwame was holding my hand as always. I was so happy. I felt blessed. My life was sweet. I had everything I once thought I would never have. But just as we were about to reach our car, I saw something. There was a man sitting by the roadside. His head was bowed. His clothes were dirty, torn, and his shoes had holes. It looked like he hadn't eaten in days. His skin was dry. His beard was rough and scattered. At first, I felt pity. But then he looked up. Our eyes met. My heart stopped. It was him, my ex. The man I once cried for. The man I once begged God to bring back to me. The man I once waited for. But this was not the man I knew. This was not the man who had left for abroad with big dreams and promises. For a moment, we just stared at each other. I could see the shock in his eyes. I could see the shame. He recognized me immediately. He looked at me, then at my husband, then at our expensive car. His mouth opened slightly, like he wanted to say something, but no words came out. His hands trembled. His eyes watered. I could tell he was asking himself, is this really her? The same girl I left? the one I told to wait, the one I used. My husband noticed I had stopped walking. He looked at me and asked, "Are you okay?" I smiled softly. "I'm fine, let's go." I didn't want revenge. I didn't need to say a word. Life had already shown him everything. As we walked to our car, I could still feel his eyes burning into me. His mouth was slightly open, his face full of shock, regret, and something else, something like fear. It was as if life had slapped him in the face. For years, I had dreamed of this moment. I used to imagine what I would say if I ever saw him again. Would I shout? Would I cry? Would I tell him how much he hates me? But standing there, I realized something. I didn't need to say anything. My life was the answer. The woman he once left broken was now standing tall, happy and loved. The woman he once used as a stepping stone now had everything he thought she would never have. I didn't feel anger. I didn't feel pity. I just felt peace. My husband held my hand tightly as we reached the car. He opened the door for me and asked, "Are you sure you are okay?" I smiled, not the kind of smile that comes from revenge, but a peaceful smile that says, "I have moved on. I have healed." I whispered, "I'm perfect." As we drove away, I didn't look back. I thought about the years I wasted waiting for him. I thought about the nights I cried myself to sleep, the days I blamed myself, and the moments I believed I was not good enough. But now I knew the truth. I was always enough. I just gave my love to the wrong person. I didn't win by finding a richer man. I didn't win by traveling the world. I won because I chose me. I chose to walk away from pain. I chose to stop begging for love. I chose to build a life that made me happy. And life rewarded me with peace, joy, and a family that truly loved me. I realized that the world can truly turn in just a moment. Sometimes the people who leave you behind are the same people life will leave behind later. But me, I kept going. I kept growing. And I finally found my smile again. And this time, I won't lose it. Oh, this is a beautiful story. Please don't settle. When people hate you, let them go. Know your worth. Do not beg for love. Know when to walk away from pain. Do not give your love to the wrong person. Sometimes it just takes time, but your happiness is ahead. You might be crying now, but trust me, babe, your peace and joy is ahead of you. I really enjoyed this story. Let me hear your thoughts down below. And I bet you know that this is a judgment-free zone. We listen, we don't judge. So please be kind to her in the comment section. And if you've not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for, babe? Come and join the family. Come and join us. Please subscribe and like this video. And don't forget to turn on the notifications so that when I post, you'll be notified immediately. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Okay, I'm done. Bye.